guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back here at one of my favorite filming spot locations because guess what? We have a refresh, changed up, mid-size performance luxury sedan from that iconic Japanese brand. What is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is your upgraded 2024 Acura TLX Type S. But before we get into this all-wheel drive, big turbocharged power plant V6, let's talk about what's going on here. Acura, it's been around since 1986. We've already talked about the history lesson many times over. But what's fascinating is that Acura took a stance pretty much right before the pandemic. They said, you know what? We're bringing back precision crafted performance. And that's where in 2021, we were at Laguna Seca to drive this very vehicle that was being unveiled for the media drive, that new Type S TLX. Now what's fascinating is that they've taken the Type S badge, and not just the badge, but extra performance, brought it over to the mighty NSX Type S, the MDX Type S, the Integra Type S. The one vehicle in their lineup that hasn't received the Type S love is the Acura RDX. Now what's great is that even though a lot of brands are not producing as many sedans as in the past, Acura is sticking to their guns with this mid-size luxury sedan. Now what does this go up against? You might think BMW M4 or M3, you're gonna be wrong. This is more a competitor to the BMW M340i or Audi's very popular S3 and S4. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for that really great overall performer, reliability, and definitely looks, is the TLX Type S the better one to get over the M340i and the Audi S4? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this all new color, urban gray metallic TLX Type S and find out. Right off the bat, this color fits it to a T. This is now my new favorite color. It was Apex Blue. I'm changing my favorite color on an Acura vehicle. This urban gray metallic really just, it makes my heart pitter patter. Now at the front of the business, where are the changes? First of all, you're still gonna get the same great headlight design, that multi-jewel LED headlight beam. And then of course you're gonna have your LED chicane daytime running lamps and LED turn signals. I like the way they call their DRLs chicane because of that racing pedigree that Acura does in the IMSA GTP and GTD class. Work your way down. We do have some functionality. It's like a 50% zonk. 50% of this is functional, the rest is fake. So I'm gonna give it a half zonk because of that feature, but I do like the way they do just a little bit of gloss black, and then I love the way they add this gloss black splitter along the bottom end. Not only is it good looking, but it's also a functional piece of aero as well. Now, as we come across that long, low slung nose, this is where you see the changes. We have an upgraded, refreshed grille. Nice large openings to bring in more cool air. You do get a forward-facing camera now. That's something that should have been there since day one, but it's nice to be there on this 2024 model. And of course, the Type S badge. They do a great job with their badges, and that S almost looks like a little bit of a racetrack, the way that they shape it. Now, as we continue down, you have this ginormous center lower opening. You could see the intercooler from behind, and of course fully functional. And then there's that splitter that I was telling you about that runs from one end to the other, from passenger side to driver side. And I like the way they kind of tapered in the center. I think that that is smart, especially for those that are gonna daily drive these. You got less chance of hitting one of those pesky parking blocks. If you compare this to the BMW, hands down, this is way better looking in my eyes than the grille shape that they do on the BMW. Audi has that more traditional large open mouth grille. I'm thinking I'm going this route a lot better. I like the simplicity of the design. Even though it's gloss black, I like the simplicity. And then you'll also notice how you just have the gloss black on that lower, thicker portion and not across the nose. Now, as we rise up, I want to focus on this nose because this has been reshaped for 2024. So we have a totally different style. It's hard to pick up right away, but if I had a 2023 parked right next to us, you'd be able to see that this is actually more aerodynamic than the previous year. So I kind of like the way they did some real aero work. It's not just for looks. You're still gonna get that same great hood. Nice crisp lines. It's like taking a fresh sheet of Dunder Mifflin paper and folding it, and you get that nice crease up the center, and then it evaporates. And then I love the way they do the edges on both sides. It gives you a great visual reference point. And it's interesting because I remember when the concept of this car first came out, a lot of people thought that with the long hood, it was gonna be rear wheel drive based. This is front wheel drive based compared to the BMW and the Audi are rear wheel drive based. But all of them, of course, feature all-wheel drive. This is that super handling all-wheel drive. Now, as we come around the bend, here's one of the things that I absolutely am falling in love with. These copper colored wheels. Now, these are actually wheels that were off the PMC edition TLX Type S from last year. Love the way with the urban gray and the copper wheels just really checks off that mark so nicely. Let me know how you feel about the color combo, but this is a 20-inch wheel. They go all the way in and give you nice black lug nuts instead of chrome. I know that sounds silly, but it's all about the fine details. We have those large Brembo calipers, nice bright red color with the Acura script on them. And then these rotors are a little bit over 14 inches in diameter. So you're gonna get nice braking capability, and you're gonna get that grip from the super handling all-wheel drive. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of the tire? Up front, you have 255 on the width, 35 series sidewall, and these are the Pirelli summer tires that I'm glad that Acura gave us because we have no snow on these roads, and I can't wait to take you on throttle. Now, of course, we have the suspension that's been fine-tuned for the Type S, and then as we come down the side, nothing fake, just a nice classy badge, that Type S badge. Like I said, the way they do their S, it almost looks like a racetrack. You're gonna have power folding mirrors. When you lock the doors, mirrors fold in, gloss black with the LED lighting. I like the way they're super clean. The one zonk I still gotta give it is where's my panoramic sunroof? So there is no panoramic sunroof, you just have a standard size sunroof, and I really feel at this price point, it needs to have a panoramic sunroof. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about that. We do have color matched door handles. And then if you notice, as we go from the door handles and drop down, you'll see that body line on the bottom portion of the doors. It really gives it a nice sense of style from the side. And I think that's another place where the TLX, for me, the Type S, style-wise, front, side, and rear, does it way better than the M340i or the Audi S4. Now, as you come towards the rear, the fenders flare out, but what's interesting is that we still have 255s on the rear. So actually the same size wheel and tire, all four corners. I wish that they gave us Brembos for the rear brakes. So that is a little bit of a bummer, but you know what? On the BMW, on the Audi, they do the same thing. So I wish that they didn't do it, but they did it. At least they're red to match the calipers up front. I've seen some brands where they actually don't paint the rear caliper. So you have a silver one and a red one. And to me, that's just really a bad touch. But as we kind of rise up, I'm gonna have Lori kind of swing around and show you that flared fender I was talking about. So very interesting how you have this nice large rear flared fender, but we still have the same wheels and tires all four corners. So that's the work that they've done with the suspension, with the track, with the wheelbase, and then coming towards the rear, you got a nice new upgraded trunk lid spoiler. Love the way they changed it up. Even has that nice dip in the center to help you see out the rear glass, and then really clean on our rear bumper area. Acura badge, nice and flush with your backup camera. You got your LED lighting. I just wish that they would black out all the badges, especially on a Type S. Let me know how you feel about that. Wish all this shiny chrome badge was gloss black or even a flat black. But I love the LED lighting. They hide the button for the trunk in the actual taillight housing. And then of course we got to finish it off with a Type S badge that lets people know that you went all in on your TLX. And then dropping it to ground level, love the slash cut, round opening, staggered exhaust, nice and large, and they're functional, and you have that great looking rear diffuser out the back. Very, very nicely shaped from front to rear. Let's go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk power of this Type S. All right guys, we got the hood open. You do have hood struts, of course, just like the competition. Underneath the hood, tasteful engine cover, simple engine cover with the Acura badge. And I like the way they have the turbocharger nice and high so you can actually see it. There is your nice large single turbocharged engine for this vehicle. And what are we actually looking at? You're looking at a 3-liter V6. So the BMW uses a straight 6, the Audi S4 uses a V6. So it's kind of interesting how this car and the Audi both use a V6 turbocharged engine. This one with that turbo, 355 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque. The great news is you have a forged crank, forged rods, so the engine is actually built super well and can actually handle more power. Made it to a 10-speed automatic. So if you compare that to the BMW, you get a ZF 8-speed. If you compare that to the Audi S4, you also get an 8-speed. This has a 10-speed automatic. The super handling all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in about 4.6 seconds. Top speed is 155 miles per hour. MPGs, 19 in the city, 24 on the highway. And the vehicle itself weighs 4,201 pounds. So still producing the same amount of power, but getting a change up on some things, not only on the outside, but also the inside. But let's go ahead, let's fire up this turbocharged TLX Type S and hear if it makes any noise. All right, guys, I'm inside this 2024 Acura TLX Type S. I can't wait to show you some of the changes that they made for 2024 on the interior, but I know you're saying to yourself, Joe, it seems that everybody and their freaking mother in my neighborhood has a BMW or an Audi. And I really don't want to go that route. It's either BMW, Audi, or Tesla. And there's no way in hell I'm buying a Tesla. But I've always been a Honda guy. I remember back in college, I had an S2000. My first car was a Civic Si. I'm actually excited for this TLX Type S, and I'm digging the color. How much is it? So MSRP is right around $58,000. One of the things I always like to point out when we're talking about the German Euro brand, specifically BMW and Audi, is that depending on what options you want, their prices can go through the roof. So just something to think about, but let's see what you get when you go TLX Type S. To the door panels, no gloss black. Soft touch material up top. You have real aluminum trim around the door handle. And you see that thin strip at the top there? That is actually ambient lighting. So you have Roy G. Biv, all the colors of the rainbow, and you have the aluminum trim. New for 2024, they added that red stitching on the door panel in the center there. Really gives it that extra pizzazz. Of course, we're going to have the ELS Studio 3D sound system with the aluminum speaker grill covers. And I love the way this one has the two-tone. That to me is worth the price of admission. Door pocket, great size. You could easily get a to-go box from Olive Garden of their tasty salad, their bottomless salad, and 4 of their breadsticks in there, and a bottle of cappuccino to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, more of that beautiful red stitching. They really did it well for 2024, adding it everywhere, consistent. That's what I like to see. No gloss black. You get into a BMW or an Audi, if you are a criminal, you will have your fingerprints all over the gloss black. And here, you don't have to worry about it. Look, touching it, no fingerprints. On the corner here, we have a nice little pocket for 4 luxury style Twinkies. That's Twinkies that have gold metal flake on them. And you have a 12 volt, which you're gonna wanna run a radar detector because this thing's got the juice. Now, when it comes to infotainment system, all new for 2024, instead of a 10-inch system, it's a 12.3-inch system. Now, the one zonk is you could touch it, but it doesn't do anything. You have to use the precision crafted performance touch interface. So there's your navigation. Of course, you have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto now. I like the way you could side scroll on the right-hand side of the screen. And then also when you go home to the home page, you'll notice you still have all the same great icons. You can change your ambient lighting. We have, of course, Alexa, which you could ask every question underneath the sun. And then my personal favorite, are you ready for this? We have our dynamic mode control knob. Look at the graphics on the 12.3-inch. Absolutely phenomenal. Sport, Sport Plus, and then of course you also have individual mode as well. And then what I really like are the backup cameras. Nice clear resolution. We got our 360 and trajectory, and you could easily change the angle of the camera very simply by pressing on that touchpad. So I like the way that it's easy to use once you get the hang of it. I promise you on that one. Go back in the park, we're right where we started. Working our way down, we have our dual climate control. Easy to adjust, easy to sync up. 3 stages of heated seats, 3 stages of ventilated seats. Thank you, Acura, for that. We have our dynamic drive controller knob. I love the aluminum finish on this. This is the only gloss black in here. And the great news is, you're not gonna be really touching it. So you don't have to worry about the fingerprints. 10-speed automatic, it's that push button transmission with the silver trim. There's the Acura interface touchpad. It's not a mouse pad. Just pretend that this is the screen that you're touching. Once you get the hang of it, it's easy peasy. Real volume knob. I like the way they have this palm rest here. Flat black, 2 cup holders, wireless charging, even for your iPhone 47 Platinum Edition. And then I like the soft material. Acura is one of my favorite when it comes to the two-tone. Look inside. You could easily put your Magic 8-ball in there, USB-A, USB-C, and a 12-volt. And you know what? You could put a Magic 8-ball in there and a bag of combos. I remember back in high school, man, having a bag of combos, you were like king because everybody would want one of your combos. Actually, they'd probably want more than one of your combos, but I wouldn't give them a damn thing. Seats, the leather, the Type S embossed, the piping, the two-tone with the microfiber suede Alcantara material, nice bolstering, full power assist for the passenger, of course full power assist for the driver. The zonk that I had outside is the zonk that I have inside. Standard size sunroof. It's gotta have panoramic. Come on, Acura, you could do it. I know you can. Coming over to the business end, I wanna show you behind this gorgeous steering wheel in this TLX Type S. All right, guys, business time in this TLX Type S. You have 2 memory seat settings. Love the way you're greeted by a Type S sill plate, nice aluminum sill plate. And then the pedal box, they do right out of a freaking Acura race car. Love the large aluminum dev pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. And then you'll notice our seat controls easy to get to. And I like the way they put a little bit of nice trim on it, just to make it spruced up. There's not a lot of bolstering on the bottom portion of the seat, but you know what? I think most people are gonna use these, of course, as daily drivers and aren't gonna be carving up corners every second of the day. But even if you hit the twisty bits, I'll show you on our drive. You're gonna be fine. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room, even with the sunroof. I wish it was a panoramic sunroof. Steering wheel feels like it's right out of a freaking NSX. Flat bottom, the red stitching, perforated leather, smooth leather. Love the way there's flat black on all the switch gear, of course. You got the Type S badge. And then you do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 10-speed automatic, manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and then that drop-dead sexy technological digital gauge clusters, 12.3 inches. And then when you go into your different modes, I love the way it changes up, even when you hit the brakes. Look how they light up on the little car there, on the little TLX. But really cool to have all that information and a G meter. So they got you covered there when it comes to gauges. There's a cornucopia of information in the displays, even the all-wheel drive that you could put. So very nice to have all that great information. But of course, it's not just about those who sit up front. It's about those who sit in the rear as well. Let's go back there and see if your passengers are going to be happy you went Acura over BMW or Audi. Let's get to it. All right, guys, backseat time, and this is clearly where there is more room in the back of this TLX Type S than a BMW M340i or an Audi S4. I still have plenty of room before I hit the headliner, and I love the way they bring the ELS Studio 3D sound system speakers into the headliner, so you get nice, clean sound. Backs of the seats, you do have the plastic. I think if you have kids, you're gonna like that. If you don't, it feels a little cheap, but you do have large pockets, and this is where you'll easily get 2 Pizza Hut personal pan pizzas. Plus, on my side, you could put a couple books, because remember, if you have your reading card, you read your book, you write a book report, you get that stamp, you fill up the card, you get a free personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. I remember those days. It motivated me to read. Why can't we have programs like that today is beyond me. Command center, I like the way you have AC vents, and not just one, but 2 USB-Cs. Of course, there's a high tunnel here because that's for the drive shaft for the all-wheel drive system, which I can't wait to show you when we go on throttle. Seats are great, the stitching, the leather, and then check it out. Woo! Oh my God, look how soft that is. Center armrest, 2 cup holders, and a place for 1 jumbo-sized Twinkie. Flip it back. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into that trunk because I want to go for a spin in this TLX. All right, guys, trunk area time. You're going to hit the button, nicely hidden in that rear taillight. Comes right up. You're going to be greeted to a large amount of room. You're actually looking at about almost 15 cubic feet of space. And one thing I want to point out is that if you look back by the 60-40 rear split, you actually have bracing back there. So you actually have an X brace, and you can see how they really beef things up from one side of the car to the other. That shows the intentions of this being a performance luxury sedan. You got to have that rigidity to the chassis, and Acura definitely did their homework. Nice low cargo floor. You got the handles, easy access to fold down those seats. And then of course, we're gonna pull back and you'll see that you don't have a spare. You have a can of flat fix and an electric air compressor. Obviously to help cut on some weight. And guess what? The competition doesn't have it either. So you're not seeing a lot of spares on these types of vehicles anymore, but you know what? I don't care about the spare. What I care about is how this thing drives. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in our new TLX Type S. Guys, we're inside this updated, changed up 2024 Acura TLX Type S. I absolutely love the larger 12.3-inch screen, just from a visibility standpoint, and of course being able to have that information. It's not blocking any view out the windshield, and for me, you don't have to touch it. You just touch the precision pad here and you save yourself all the fingerprints. I have it in Sport Plus mode, and we're gonna shift manually with the paddles through the 10-speed automatic. So if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Nice. That all-wheel drive gets you off the line with all grip and no slip. Handling is superb in this car. On the brakes, left. Woo! Look at the grip, look at the grip. Nice! It's really, really doing the business. There we go. All right, so let's talk about what's going on here. The 10-speed automatic, they've done a great job with how quick it shifts. And another thing that I noticed that I really like is the different drive modes are distinctively different personalities with each one. And go in Sport Plus mode, especially when you're just in automatic for the transmission, where it's shifting itself, it holds the gear. I mean, watch, you'll see. Let me get out of manual shift. So I'm driving down the road here, doing about 50, and it actually holds the gear to where I'm at 3,000 RPM. So that when you go on throttle, it's right there in the sweet spot of the power band. Whatever Acura and Honda does to communication, they need to keep doing it, because you feel it in this car, what the front end is doing through the steering wheel. You got the same brake setup as the Acura NSX, which is kind of cool, that brake-by-wire system. But just all the appointments in here, I feel like more the car is wrapped around me than me just sitting in it. Now, sound, you are getting some artificial sound pumped into the cabin, and guess what? The two other brands do it even more so. I just wish there was more sound coming out of the exhaust, real sound. But I'm telling you, the torque and the way that it builds power, it really has a nice torque curve. Now, yes, the competition is faster. I mean, that goes without saying. Faster 0 to 60, hands down. But driving this vehicle is where it's all about. All the individual parts and pieces add up to the big picture, and it really is a very rewarding car to drive. I like the way you have a nice large head-up display. I just wish there was a little bit wider wheel and tire setup on this car. 255s are great. I would like to see a little bit wider wheel and tire and a little bit more power. That would have been a nice touch as well. But let's do the business again. Are you ready from a dead stop? On throttle. Really pulls nicely off the line. Shifts are very quick. And the balance of the chassis is where it's at. On those brakes. Woohoo! There we go. I tell you, I love the way this thing just talks to you. It just wants to dance. And I want to dance with it. That's for sure. On those brakes. Those Brembos slowing us down. Another thing that I'm finding that I like is I'm not having to go through the gears as much. It's like normally where I would drop down 2 gears, say in a BMW M340i, in this car I just have to go down 1. And it really keeps it in the sweet spot of that torque curve and the power band. And that's key, right? Yeah, horsepower is great, but torque is very important, and where you keep it in the power band is even more important. The digital gauge display, very, very clear, very crisp. I just really want to see a little bit more bolstering out of these seats. But the comfort of the seats is really, really nice. They're supportive, and they really form-fit your body super nicely. And that takes care of them having to be super soft, because you don't want super soft in this car, but you do want your body to be cradled nicely, and the seats do a great job. Plus the fact that they're heated and ventilated, sign me up. I absolutely love the leather, the design, the color, the whole shabam. But let's go from a dead stop again, because like I said, we have that all-wheel drive. On throttle, here we go. All the way to red line. Turn in is nice. You do get a little body roll, but it's nothing that works against you. I feel like everything works with you in this vehicle. Nice, look at this. Woo! Little bit of front end push when you're pushing it super hard into a corner, but a lot of all-wheel drive systems do that. That's why I say all-wheel drive is not the end-all when you're looking to boost performance. But definitely the sound deadening material in here is perfect. You're not getting any wind noise. You're not getting any road noise. Where they added the extra stitching and everything just elevates the overall feel in here is just give me the panoramic sunroof. And I know a majority of you, raise your hand, you want a touchscreen. The screen right now where it's at, it's too far. I would need to be like sitting on the dash to touch the screen. So they're gonna have to redesign something there to bring that joy to those who want it. But for me, I'm digging the fact that the transmission shifts very, very smooth, very quick, whether you're going up the gears or down the gears. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back into automatic shifting mode. And when you go into the different modes, right now I'm in Sport Plus, there's Sport, it drops the revs from 3,300 RPM down to about 2,400 RPM. Then I'm gonna go into normal, which drops it down to, wow, 1,600 RPM. And then I'm gonna go full comfort. So full comfort, it's loosening up the steering, the throttle sensitivity, all those goodies. And then it also cleans up the dash as well. Not so much information, but for me, you know where we're going, right? I mean, that's an easy answer. Sport Plus is where it's at. And like I said, switching through the different modes, that nice large screen that we have, it's fantastic. And it really looks like Gran Turismo when you're going into the different modes. But the room in here, the fact that the backseat passengers have plenty of room back there, I'm gonna put it back into manual shift mode. You do have a small gear indicator. It's on the left-hand side on the tack. I wish that was a little bit larger. And also when you're in Sport Plus mode, I would like to see some tack, shift lights, something in the head-up display. That would be another nice touch. But drop it down to second gear if you're ready. I'm ready. On throttle. Here we go. It does put a smile on my face, that's for sure. On the brakes. Look at this. The Super Handling all-wheel drive does a great job sending the power all where it needs to be, and I really feel that the grip level is so well done in this vehicle, even with the 255s. But everything else, driving wise, like I said, it checks off the boxes of what a luxury car should bring. That finish, the feel, you got the ELS Studio 3D sound system, and you got great sound quality in the cabin, keeping the outside noises out. But we're gonna get back. I'm hoping that this was a good enough on throttle for you. We're gonna get back and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great on throttle day with this 2024 Acura TLX Type S, new color, urban gray metallic. Definitely gotta thank the whole Honda and Acura team for getting us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Are you liking the updates? Are you liking the new color, especially with the wheels? God, do they look good. And are you liking how it compares to the BMW and the Audi? Let me know down in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Of course, we need to give it up. LG Raiti, she's working it like a champ out here. She's digging this Acura. Show us some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for your hard work and dedication. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.